It's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning. You're at your dental office and you get a knock on your door. It's one of the dental assistants. And this dental assistant says to you, the compressor is down. How do you feel? This is Paul, Dr. Nacho Goodman. I'm talking with the president of DentalEZ, Heather Trombley, and she's going to share with us why some of our dental equipment is not smart enough. Heather, welcome to Talking Nacho. So glad to have you here. Share with our audience just a little bit about yourself. What do you do in your day-to-day, where your company's located? We would love to hear.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for having me, Paul. So hello, Heather Trombley. I'm the president of DentalEZ. We're a US-based dental company headquartered in Malvern, Pennsylvania. And we have in our portfolio the sort of standard operatory products that surround you every day, from the compressor that Paul mentioned and vacuums to the dental chairs and lights you use, and including a whole complement of the air-driven handpieces or electric handpieces you might use in your everyday procedure.
Awesome. And you know, I have one of my best friends here, my phone. It always tells me when it's low power, you move it to the yellow thing. You guys have been striving to decrease annoyance, decrease the hassle factor, make things easier for everyone in the dental office. What caused you to do that? What are some of the classic pieces of dental equipment that just is not operating a way that's maximizing our productivity and, you know, causing us stress?
So our mission when I came to DentalEZ was to really work from a manufacturer's point of view. What can we do to support the practice of oral health care? Well, we're not in the practice of dental healthcare or oral health care, but we can, as equipment manufacturers, make our equipment smarter, more efficient, simpler to operate. We can do a whole host of things that should take some of the pressure off monitoring the periphery and the noise so that the clinical staff and the entire staff can focus on that great customer experience. So in this specific case, compressor, you know, it is your worst day when the knock on the door comes. Well, there's no reason why it should be such a horrible, oh my gosh, what do we do now? These are operated mechanical devices, electromechanical devices. They can be monitored. We here at DentalEZ have developed some technology where we can censor the devices and send that data to the cloud so that the dental practice, service provider, anybody in the value stream can look at that data, understand what's going on in that compressor without even going into the room, and even control the compressor remotely from a phone. So think about the extraordinary, I got the knock on the door, my compressor doesn't work. You can actually look at your phone, see your operating characteristics. We can even help you deploy a service tech and know what's likely to be wrong with it, so to minimize your downtime. That's the idea of smart.
People are watching their pets at home on their phone. You might as well be watching your compressor, right? Your compressor can call. And you know, one of the things as dentists and have dealt with, so, you know, it's not just about the lost money for the day; it's the lost morale too, right? You have people scheduled. You know, I think sometimes people think, oh, the practice owner's only concerned if we lose money. It's more than that. It's the morale. It's the scheduling. So I think, you know, that's an amazing thing that you guys are doing there. And you know, I think it's awesome to identify. I always say at Dental Nachos, being happier is being less annoyed. And you guys are doing that. And I love that. Now, I want to just shift gears for a second. So you're the leader of a company. The past few years have not been easy on anyone on earth. You know, I got a 4-year-old, 4 to 94. But one of the things we were chatting about is, you know, how do you shape a culture that needs change? You know, there's dental offices, Heather, that are transitioned, bought by a new owner. There's office managers watching right now being told by their dentist, we need to change this culture. We need to make change. And you've had to do that. Share with our audience some value on that.
Yeah, that's one of the hardest things I do day to day. And it starts with living it. I got to be honest. If you have a culture, then you like pieces of it, and there's some elements you want to bring, whether it's through an acquisition or some changes in staff personnel, you have to define very clearly the behaviors. This is such a key word. It's not about style and personality. What behaviors do you want to exhibit? So if you want to be world-class customer experience, what behaviors in every one of your team members and associates are the behaviors that are going to resonate for that customer? I'm here, I'm getting white glove treatment. You know, everything is about me. So the best way I have found in taking over this organization is put in actual metrics, or a term called KPI, a key performance indicator, and actually monitor those behaviors, reward when they're being met, and gently divert and reshape where those behaviors aren't being met. And if you have actually good metrics and you manage the metrics, you'll see the results. But it's not a quick journey. It takes persistence, and it really takes the leaders at the top to live it and breathe it and communicate it, infuse it every day.
I think that's just amazing value and so key. And I think it bonds us, bonding is a dental term. It bonds dental offices to dental manufacturing companies. It bonds dental manufacturing companies to technology companies, to supply companies, because we all have these teams. And I think one of the things that's disrupted culture so much, I know it has for mine, is there's just been so many different new faces in my office that were not there from a few years ago because we need them to survive. But it's easy to be confused as a team member. So I think you're sharing, for the leaders to live it, it's so key. And being patient, right, on how it grows, because it's a journey. Tell us a little more, dental people, Heather, they're very right and wrong, black and white, and they're not taught to learn how to delegate and kind of sometimes be mentally flexible. Tell us about that resiliency on the journey, because it's not going to happen overnight, is it?
Oh dear, I could go on and on, but in the interest of time, establish little goals and little wins.
Love that.
So this is something I learned not my first year, the second and third year when I didn't quite see the results I wanted. Let's establish little wins. Let's improve our communication, and then let's test if our communication vehicles are working. Is it better in a staff meeting? Is it better to do a morning huddle? At lunch break, you gather all your associates in the dental office and do a quick lunch and learn. There's different ways to create communication, but communication is often one of the challenges in a dental office. It's the same way at a dental manufacturing company, believe me. So establish little goals, reward the wins. And when you have this churn, like all of us have faced in the last couple of years with COVID and other things, with retention of staff, if you have that cultural norm, when a new person comes in, they actually have some place to gravitate to start. And that cultural norm will then help that person perform at a higher level from the get-go.
I love it. We have a lot of ABCs at Del Nachos, always be connecting, always be creative. But for this one with culture, always be consistent, right? But I love what you said. I like to talk about my failed dreams, Heather, because I want to play in the NBA. But it's layups, right? Start with layups. Too often dentists say, go out to the three-point line and try to make that shot. And it's demoralizing when you can't make it. So start with layups. Let your team and yourselves get those wins. And I think little wins, I'm going to remember that from today. Little wins, little goals. So appreciate you sharing with us. Before we wrap up, if someone wanted to reach out to you directly, Heather, to learn about any of these things, from smart technology to running a company, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
My goodness. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm actually part of the Dental Nachos community.
Awesome.
I'll give out my work email if that's appropriate. I love to hear from people. I love to get ideas, and I love to engage in a dialogue, because the more I know of the problems I can solve for my constituents, the better off we'll be as a company to actually solve the problems you face, so that we can be that partner in oral healthcare.
Love it. We need more of this. If anyone wants to reach out to Heather, you also can do it through me through dentalnachos.com. Thanks so much for joining us.
All right, great. Thank you very much.